Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the drawing for the farming today. I would like to start by saying that it's my strong preference that you do your own farming drawings by looking them up on the internet, by typing in Maya raised fields, Maya slash and burn farming, Maya terrace farming, and drawing it based on your own research. It's my strong preference that you do that. So if you feel capable of doing that, please stop this video right now and go look it up. Do research and learn. Have that curiosity and do the drawings based on the pictures that you see. If you feel intimidated by that, that's understandable. And I will show you some samples right now of how I might do it based on the research that I have done. So we'll start with slash and burn. As you can see, I've got this divided into two areas. And on this side, I'm going to do the burning that's occurring. So I'm just going to draw some fire things. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful art in the world, but it does have to be neat. So I use a few different colors, red and orange, some yellow. And then I show that these used to be, big trees here that they're burning. Some of them are stumps now that have been cut down. Okay, we've got rainforest trees that are up here. And sort of show these trees on the ground getting burnt. And then over here, you're going to get your corn, beans, and squash. So I can draw those plants that are occurring over here. Hopefully you watch those videos so it shows you the really cool farming that you'll see there. If you want, you can put some little yellow corn in there. Choose a different green for your beans that are sort of bush beans if you want. And then you can have some pumpkin squashes. All right, so that'll show you the slash and burn. All right, and over here you can do your terraces. And you can put some corn. Now remember, they also did this thing called intercropping where they would grow different crops together. So I'll put some corn on here. It's just some yellow. And then we've got some, you can put some pumpkins down here. I'll go ahead and do some bean plants also. Now I'm also going to teach you something called highlight coloring. So you'll notice that I have sort of lines here. If you want to just kind of show that it's a hill, you could do highlight coloring like this. Makes it look a little nicer. You don't have to color the whole thing in though. Please be neat though. You know, coloring can be very relaxing if you take the right attitude to it. You'll notice also that I've finished my weaving here. The weaving's actually in crayon, for those of you who don't have colored pencil. You can use crayon on that. But if you don't have colored pencil for this, I would prefer that you just did it in regular pencil and don't color at all. All right, so now we've got, that's the terracing over here. So now we're ready for raised fields over here. So the raised fields are in the swamp. So you've got a river here. And you can kind of give that river some highlight coloring. I don't want you to color the whole river in. Please don't do that. Just give it some highlight coloring like this. And you're going to put a canoe in this river later, so you want to make sure you leave some space for that canoe. That happens when you do the trade, when we learn about trade. You learn about the seagoing canoes they had, which is really cool. Okay, then these are your raised fields right here. So what they would do is they would dig up the mud from the swamps, and they would put them into mounds so they can then plant on that. Now you'll notice I go over any pencil I have. I don't want to see any pencil if I'm using colored pencil. So now I'm ready to go ahead and put in my corn, beans, and squash again. The corn is a little bit taller, so I put my little yellow corn on there. Corn was also called maize, and they believe that they were made, the Maya people believe they were made out of maize. And then you can go ahead and put your pumpkin plants in there. Also known as squash. Pumpkins are a form of squash. They also had other types of squash as well. Those would be on the ground. And then we can put some bean plants in here. All right, and then this water around here is going to be kind of muddy. So I'm going to shade it in brown because it's kind of like a swamp. I'm going to shade in brown, then I'm going to, because what they would do is they would build these canals so that they could raise fish in the canals. And they would use that water in the swamp to water and irrigate their plants. All right, so you'll see we've got our raised fields here in the swampy lowlands with a river. Got our slash and burn over there, and we've divided it so you can see where they're burning it and then where they're growing it. And then we've got our terracing in the hills. Okay.